is not the self-proclaimed creator of Krump. He is the creator of Krump.
What is Krump? Kingdom radically uplifted by the brand.
What's Bvck? We here. You made it. Disclaimers have been given. I already told you what to expect. So, I'm going to watch this on my phone. This is RYU versus Spartan. This is the bounty battle that happened at the Wasteland. I have watched this battle, but I have not put out my thoughts. But let's rewatch it again with fresh eyes. I was very disappointed at what I seen first, but let's watch it again. This is Spartan's battle. I guess this was his last bounty battle. Now, I just battle no one, so you know Spartan wants to battle me, so it's like, do you have what it takes? That's how I'm looking at it. Like, you're not battling RYU. I want to see if you have what it takes to see me, which I don't think you're ready because of your last battle. So I'm just telling you from a competitive standpoint, even though I have my own will to get this guy and rip this guy, I can't judge off of how bad I want to rip this guy. I have to call his successes as they come. So even though there is a bias there because I want to get him, I can't be biased when I review this. Let's go. Round one. RYU starts.
I'ma just exit.
Okay, that was round one. I'll give it to you straight. RYU I listen to the beat. The beat is simple. Easy to catch. And he caught that a couple of times, but he was not consistent in that musicality. So the musicality level was really low. Yes, he was moving his body, but if it's not connected to the music the entire time in some way, in melody, in mood, in percussion, in pattern, it doesn't matter. So half of Evil Ryu's round did not hit because it's not connected to any music. Yes, he was moving, but it would have made more impact. It's movement without the music, so it's incomplete. I see his jabs, and his level of get off is not high. Yeah, you can see this. If you look at it, you can see his pattern. You can see the same pattern, and it's not intricate things added into the pattern. It's really the pattern is whatever, but then the after is what Evil Ryu is good at. He's good at highlighting things after all of this stuff. Doesn't really care about this, or probably doesn't know about this, but the after, that's what makes him special. And I believe that's what he was going off of. I could see he had a pattern in the way that he was trying to flow with this approach, but it would have been a lot better if it was actually to the beat instead of catching the beat. This is a simple beat. It really doesn't have much to it. Like, you should be able to rip this. So his musicality level, I would say, was about a 4. Easy beat. Not much to break down, and you don't break it down. Level 4 musicality. In my eyes, you can't just come out and do any musicality in front of me. I'm going to expect way more, especially if you grew up in this movement and you're battling out here like that. You want to be like that? You got to be judged harshly. So his get off wasn't a high level. Now his body movement, his afterbuck, that was a high level. He knows how to catch himself. He knows how to end a thing, or he knows how to transition from this to that. That's what he did well. That's the only thing he did well in that round. The jabs didn't mean nothing. The arm swings, he had a couple in there that were impactful, a couple of poses that were impactful, but moments that he stretched out and that were to the music that made his round what it was, the good of it. But if you look at the get off, I'm not seeing the knowledge in the jabs. I'm not seeing the snap in the jabs. I'm definitely not seeing a variety of arm swings. I definitely don't see a variety of arm placements. Yeah, you got a chest pop, but not much variety in there. I mean, yeah, I like your grooving, high level of grooving, cool. High level of level changing, the buck, live, the Krump zone. He was in them dimensions, so he had good things, but there was a lot of undevelopedness in his Krump. His moves were good, but they're good without the music. When you add the music, then the moves are incomplete. You can't just look at Krump from the moves. What were the moves to? The song is playing for a reason. It's not background music. So I'll say level 4 musicality, level 3 get off. Moves are probably like a 7. Transitions, an 8. And like the afterbucks in the grooves, the groove is his greatest weapon. So that was his round. Then you have Spartan. Spartan's Krump is obviously better than this guy. And I don't like Spartan worth for nothing. But his Krump is just better. It's more focused. You can see the chest pops when they happen. Now, I'm not saying that Spartan is a high level. He's not. But he's definitely at a higher level than Evil Ryu as far as his Krump, how he's talking with his arms. More was done. More to the music, more variety. This is how people told me, like, Evil Ryu, dog Spartan. Like, judging by the first round, nuh-uh. Y'all lied to me. Spartan, Evil Ryu's round couldn't even get to where Spartan's was because Spartan's moves were not all of that type, but neither was Evil Ryu's. So if Evil Ryu's moves were better, which in the grand scheme of things will probably be a better thing for preference for the judges, but let's say grooving and moves, Evil Ryu had that. But you're missing musicality and the basics of Krump. Which one is greater? So that first round it's clear. Even though Spartan was going from move to move, I think if Spartan keeps doing it, this was what's gonna make him lose this battle. Judging off the first round, I feel the same way as when I watched it the first time. I'm like, okay, I see better moves, better Krump. And the moves are not bad, they're just not high level, but neither are this guy's. Like, they're both not at a high level as far as moves. I think they're both equal in movement. Spartan obviously looks limited because he needs to be healed, man. I don't think he should be out here competing when he's not like fully 100%, but he's out here. But for that first round, Spartan takes that first round with ease. It's just evident. More variety. It was more footwork. Yes, the level changing, RYU got him. As far as groove, RYU tore him up, but that's not the only thing. We're talking about the foundations of Krump. Spartan wasn't just passing through. Some things he did, but he had more evident skill level as far as Krump, which is why he won that first round. It's not about the moves. The moves kind of tip the scales a little. Get off is the main thing, especially musicality with the game. So let's go to round 2. I'm listening to this music. Okay. He's more musicality focused, or at least that's what he appeared. Okay, I like this pace. Okay, I see more. See more, a little more. Gonna be the get off, man. The get off is gonna make the difference. I just see a whole bunch of moves and setups right now. Wow, crazy stop. See, it's the afterbug. That was a crazy stop. Okay, shoot me. Arm swing. Man, this is nothing to gas over. He got get off. He just don't know it. Yeah, that second round. That's Spartan can mop it easy. He should be able to clean the floor with that round. He should be able to. He dancing to his own track now. This is bad. Okay, he came back. This is bad. Okay. Round 2 just and this is sad to watch, man. I'm sad. Okay. Evil Ryu, same get out. I liked his start. But then the same old get off patterns. Same old, same old. And it just becomes a move after move. Like connect this move with this move, connect this move to this move until I get something. It's just it looks lost. It's lost. Couple of moments of musicality, but still not a high level of musicality. How he was expressing it, it tells you a lot about, does this person know what they're doing? It tells me a lot. You can't just do things. You have to mean things. You can't just do moves. I'm trying to tell people this is a perfect example. Okay. Level 4 musicality once again. But he had this moment. Now, if there's nothing else good, he had a moment to where he looked like he was in control. So you have to factor that second in. That was a very hard thing to do, to turn around and end up in the pose in that position. That was crazy. If he would have put get off on top of that, it probably would have ended the whole thing. That it had that type of momentum. So I will give him that. But if you pass that moment up to go into a lack of pattern, it's the lack of get off that I can't. It's limiting Evil Ryu from really putting this to rest. Like, yeah, you got good stuff, but that get off is just not where it needs to be. Check the patterns. Check the patterns and you tell me what you see. So you have this one moment in a round. All Spartan has to do is conquer this one moment. All Spartan has to do is remain in the pocket that he was the first round. Evil Ryu didn't come with much different things. It's kind of the same approach. But maybe Spartan didn't deal with that in Evil Ryu's mind. So he came out with the same approach, which I don't think is smart. But Spartan wasn't able to make... Spartan was doing moves, but it's the same move battle as this guy. And if you're talking about solidified moves, he had more of a solidified moment within all of the stuff he did. Spartan just had like a continuous run-on sentence. You really couldn't tell what was completed or not. So it was like, yeah, it's almost tight. Like, it could have been tight, but it's just something missing. Rather than, whoa, something came out of that. And it gives you a lasting impression. I would never say judge a battle off of moments, but Evil Ryu had a much better moment than Spartan. But the level of Krump, once again, even though Spartan is going from move to move, like an unlearned Krumper, even though he's playing the move game, his foundations of Krump are still better. They're not high level. So if Evil Ryu is a 4, Spartan is a 5 in the get off. It's not a big margin. This is sad. Spartan looks like he's in pain. It looks like he's limited in his movement. Like, he can't do certain things. So I think he needs to redirect his style or approach, because even though Evil Ryu's round wasn't all that, Spartan wasn't able to conquer it. Like, Spartan looks way worse than the first round. He had a little bit of confidence and flair and like, okay, look like you know that. But the second round, it just looked like, I'm trying anything I can. I'm just trying to stay alive. So I'll Spartans get off is sloppy and without wisdom. Evil Ryu doesn't really have a developed get off. But Spartan is not highlighting his get off because he's being sucked into the move after move. And if I judge the move after move, which Spartan did do, he lost that. He lost that round because he's not staying within his get-off. If he's staying within his get-off, he can win the round. His Krump is better. But as far as making things happen in the round, his Krump made nothing happen. And neither did his moves. At least RYU made one thing happen. So I'll give that round to RYU off of Spartans because he just didn't make anything happen. It was just broken Krump. Let's go to round 3. I think this battle is tell you all you need to know. Let's see. Listening to the music. You have to judge battles off of what the music is saying too.
Let's go Spartan.
It's not gonna go up from here. So it's gonna get worse and worse. Krump is better once again. He's beating RYU around. Pretty crazy. This is his best round. Even Ryu's best round was his last round. All right, that was the final round.
Yo, keep it up with this battle, yo.
It's the same thing. Same thing. Spartan demolished RYU's Krump in that round, and I believe that's why RYU had to do that. It wasn't at a high level, so I don't want you to get it misunderstood. I'm not saying that Spartan is tight. Spartan weak. But he was far better in the Krump round. We're talking about the language, the arm placements, the jabs, the chest pops, the grooves, the footwork. It's not a high level, but it's at a higher level than RYU's. Then RYU turns it on in the last bit of the last round. He should have started battling this guy like that. He made the most strikes in the last round. Spartan didn't have a chance to reply. I don't know if those are the rules, but if Spartan didn't feel the need to deal with that, I feel like Spartan should have dealt with that because that was the buckest round that Spartan had, and that was the buckest round that RYU had. Now we can battle. If Spartan was supposed to reply to that last round, I believe it was buck enough for him to give a reply. But he didn't reply. I would have to make this battle a tie. If he was supposed to respond and didn't respond, RYU's last round was definitely the buckest of the rounds. Flow, get off, pocket, everything. But the round previously, Spartan just wiped the floor with that round. So you have the first round that goes to Spartan, second round goes to RYU, and the third round goes to Spartan, but then there's a fourth. So if that fourth is not in, if it's not in the picture, Spartan wins this battle. That's just what it is. You may not like Spartan style. I don't like it. It's very broken and incomplete, but it was better. It was a better show of Krump than RYU's. Now, if you go to moves and preference, of course, you would prefer a RYU over a broken Spartan. But as far as Krump goes, no bias. If the fourth round is not in the questioning, if it's not in the runnings for judgment, Spartan wins that battle. If not, RYU definitely did not win. It's a tie. Because it's 2-2. Spartan won the first round clearly. Second round, probably one of the worst rounds I ever seen from Spartan. Third round, you got a little more trust. He was able to make waves. Not strong ones, but waves. Waves that 5-year-olds could swim in. Like it's not waves for the big dogs. Little waves. But RYU had to make that fourth round. I believe without that fourth round, if that was supposed to be a response, RYU would have lost. So I don't know what happened with the bounty. Hey, y'all judges, y'all deal with that. But if it's not a tie, Spartan wins. I know that ain't what the judges came up with. All right. Let's move on to the next one.